Religion is a thread woven deep into the fabric of human existence. It taps into our thoughts, emotions, desires, and fears, offering us something to believe in when the world around us feels uncertain and unstable. In our search for meaning, we turn to stories. We tell these stories to one another, passing them on generation to generation. We gossip, we share, we gather. And in this act of gathering, religion becomes not just a spiritual practice, but a reason for community, a space where our collective values take root and grow. In places of worship, trust is forged. It's here that societies define their morals, build their identities, and foster a sense of belonging. But these sacred spaces aren't just about faith. They have given rise to some of the most awe inspiring monuments in human history. Great cathedrals, towering mosques, and grand temples stand as testament to this. Symbols of devotion, yes, but also creators of microeconomies. Artisans, laborers, and everyday people find their livelihood connected to these structures. Culture, art, and commerce thrive in their shadows. Religious monuments stand as more than just symbols of faith. They are engines of local economies, creating lifelines for countless artisans and workers. Around these grand structures, microeconomies spring to life, where craftsmanship, trade, and labor all flourish in service of the sacred. The creation and maintenance of temples, mosques, and cathedrals provide livelihoods for masons, carpenters, artists, and merchants alike. Pilgrims and tourists alike fuel these economies, transforming places of worship into bustling hubs of commerce, where faith and daily life are intertwined in a delicate balance. These sacred sites, rooted in devotion, give rise to thriving marketplaces, where the exchange of goods and services blends seamlessly with the exchange of ideas and culture, ensuring that religion not only sustains the soul but also fuels the growth of entire communities. From the bustling bazaars outside the temples to the intricate craftsmanship that adorns cathedrals, the economic ripple effects of these religious centers reach far beyond their walls. Religion, in this sense, becomes a force not only of spiritual enrichment but also of material sustenance, feeding both the soul and livelihoods of those who live in its shadow. When religion becomes a dividing line, when it is wielded as a tool of power, conflict often follows. Wars have been ignited by the desecration of beliefs, by the spread of hate in the name of faith. And in these moments, even those who might never otherwise give their lives for a cause are driven to do so, willing to sacrifice all in the name of constructs like religion. Great civilizations like Egypt, which thrived for over 5,000 years, rose and fell. We are but a young generation in comparison, with much still to learn. History is marked by periods of great achievement and also by times of terrible conflict. Civilizations crumbled under the weight of war, their legacy scarred by the violence of intolerance. We often fall into the comforting belief that our society is far more advanced than those that came before us. We tell ourselves they were not as sophisticated and that because of our progress, we are destined to thrive longer than they did. But the truth is, they believed the same. The kings of ancient empires believed they were gods, untouchable, unstoppable, convinced their reign would last forever. From the Sumerians to the Romans, every great civilization walked the earth believing they were the pinnacle of human achievement. Yet they are now nothing more than dust, forgotten by time, their once great empires reduced to ruins. Wars have always been devastating. The Romans brought an end to the Egyptians. The Visigoths shattered the Romans, and this cycle of destruction continues. What starts as small isolated conflicts can quickly escalate into global catastrophes. Today, we wield the most destructive weapons the world has ever known. We fill our skies with carbon, pollute our oceans, and melt away the ice caps. We are no less vulnerable than the great civilizations that once walked this earth, but we are accelerating our path to destruction at a frightening pace. Our leaders fear traders and philosophers, deeming them as mere writers of books lost in debate. But if we continue down this path of reckless disregard, time will deliver its justice, as it always has, and we will face the consequences of our own making. We are in desperate need of a spiritual revolution, one that reconnects us with the very essence of life, Mother Earth. We must learn to return to her, to honor the soil beneath our feet, and to recognize farming as not just a necessity but a sacred act. In this fast paced world of endless content, we must shift our focus toward sustainable living. Create less waste, live with intention, teach our children the value of the earth, of nature, and of living in harmony with the world around us. And let us use science not just to grow our economies, but to plan for true happiness and a future that honors both people and planet.